Hello, everybody. This is my first LinkedIn audio event. So first, I would like to apologize for some delay, but I am very excited today. This is our first LinkedIn Live, and simultaneously, this is also our first LinkedIn Live video event. If you don't know me yet, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Wanda 𝗓𝗪𝗧𝗛. I am the top 15 LinkedIn expert in Dubai and the 2021 number one most influential Filipina on LinkedIn. Every week, I go live on LinkedIn because at 𝗏𝗏𝗏 Social Media Marketing, I want to help businesses and entrepreneurs understand how they can get clients on LinkedIn without spending on ads, without complicated technology and channels. And today, we are exploring how you can use LinkedIn audio event so you can get clients. But simultaneously, we are live on Twitter and Facebook, and of course on my LinkedIn live video event because Angelica and I would like to show specifically how can you manage in audio event. But first, I would like to thank every person who's watching us live or on play. Please tell us where you're joining from, and I know a lot of people do watch the replay. So thank you very much. Let me also introduce my guest. My guest for today is Angelica Coral. She has facilitated over 100 audio events on LinkedIn, and she calls herself the LinkedIn Audio Queen. So let me bring Angelica on stage. Um, Let me just try to do. Angelica, maybe you can join the stage with me. Can you be one of the hosts, please? Let me try to put Angelica on stage. Press the hand and allow me to speak. Bear with me because I need to understand how to use the LinkedIn audio event. Angelica, there seems to be a problem. I cannot find any button on my screen. Okay, for the meantime. Okay, maybe Rina can help me find the hand screen. Okay, let me just check again. Angelica, okay, press your face, allow to speak. Okay, Angelica, hold on.
Voila, I'm up.
Finally! Angelica,
We
I
are
got so
up.
much here today.
And we see that Marisol's in the room. Good to see you, Marisol. Thanks for coming.
Angelica, you know, right now we have 185 people who registered for the audio event and about 122 people who registered for the LinkedIn Live video event. So, but I know more people watch the replay, but I know you are the LinkedIn audio queen. Maybe you can walk us through the buttons. I really don't know how to use audio events at all. Angelica, I think you're muted.
Oh, I'm sorry. So on the bottom left, it's early for me. It's early. On the bottom left, we have leave, and that's what we press when we're done with the room. We also have invite in case we want to invite more people to come into the room.
Okay,
We
let me
have
show those
react.
buttons. Yeah. So you're saying I can press invite if I want to invite more people in the room. Like for example, I can
Yes.
invite Angelica and Nancy and the other people who are on my network. I can
Yes.
also do reactions, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I
So
can do any of
the
those.
emojis. The emojis. Absolutely.
That's good. Now, why I cannot see the raise button at the beginning?
What's that? I didn't hear that.
The
What was that?
hand.
So uh, on my photo, you usually the hand is to let you know that I want to come up to the stage. And
Oh,
I can't come up on the stage unless I have my hand up. So let's say Marisol wants to come up on the stage. She can't come up unless she puts her hand up and you let her come up.
mm. So meaning
Hmm.
every person who was watching you on an audio event can raise their hand and you can put them on stage. That's how it works, correct?
Yes.
Oh, wow, great. So, Angelica, we have 185 people who wanted to join the audio event, and there are already questions that we need to answer right away. Can we go
Yes.
straight to answer those questions if it's okay with you?
Sure. Absolutely.
Okay, let the girls flash the first question for me. Okay, this is the first question, Angelica. What
Hmm.
are the most strategic ways on LinkedIn to achieve consistent patronage?
To so that people can continue, you need to be consistent by being on audio rooms each week.
Hmm.
So if you are doing an audio room each week, then people are going to know that you have an audio room coming up, right?
That's a good
And
point, Angelica. I think
yes,
I want to share my side. I had a call in the morning, and this person said, I jump on a call with you because I used to get every week a lot of invites for you to attend your events. And that's how I get to have the interest to book a call with you. And I think what I learned is that to have consistent patronage on LinkedIn or any social media platform, it's about consistency and showing up. I mean, if you do have
yes,
something valuable to share, if you have expertise, if you have experience, I think my take here is to just continuously show up, share your experience, share your expertise, because it's when the right come and find you, right?
absolutely. You need to be on here. And another thing is you kind of play around with the timing.
Hmm.
Uh, because sometimes people, like for instance over here it's 7 a.m. So I gotta sneeze.
Yeah, I know in the US it's very early, right? In Dubai right now, it's 6:11 p.m. In Asia,
Okay.
like Singapore, Manila, it's 10:11 p.m. Now, in your time zone in the US, it's 7 a.m. So I know it's kind of early for you. It's kind of medium for me in Asia.
Yes.
But I think, from my experience, this is one of the best ways to still capture Asia when they're awake. To capture Middle East, they're still active. And of course, West is just waking up. But again, I think I agree with you about consistently knowing what time does your client tune in. And because I think the other thing from an audio event perspective is that it cannot be repeated, right? Once we're done, people cannot listen to the recording.
And
Versus
also
a live
you got to
video
make
where they
sorry.
can watch us again.
Also your sound is coming in and out, Wandalyn.
Hmm. Yeah, my sounds
So
break.
yeah, it's going coming in and out. How do I sound though? Can you guys hear me clearly?
Let's check with the girls.
Yeah.
Okay, while they're checking the sound, let us check the next question.
Okay.
Okay, this is the next question, Angelica. How can I get clients for a consulting and accounting practice?
How can you get clients for consulting and accounting?
Yes.
You can open up an audio room and do a training on consulting and accounting, and you can also um, invite people on LinkedIn that
Mm-hmm.
are into consulting and accounting. So you could look for those people And it's important to build those relationships with the people so that they could know what you're doing. And in the beginning, there might not be as many people because they don't know you as much, but they come later on
Hmm.
after they.
I agree with you. If you want to get consistent clients for your consulting practice, show up. Because on LinkedIn, there are 25 million accounting businesses. So if you want to stand out among the rest, then it's about making people understand what you do best, who you help, and how you help others, and what makes you very different compared to the many consulting firms here on LinkedIn. And I think I also have a newsletter where I shared about how to get consulting clients on LinkedIn. You go to bit-ly, how to get consulting clients, because there are basic things that you can do on
Okay,
LinkedIn.
I couldn't hear that really clearly. It kind of went in and out. Can you maybe spell that out?
Okay, so it's bit-ly backslash how to get consulting clients. So on the newsletter, I shared how you can get clients easily by changing three things. Number one, your LinkedIn banner. Make it clear what you do, who you help, how you help them. Number two is your LinkedIn headline, which allows you to put 220 characters. So again, write down who you help, how you help, and put a little explanation. Why should people work with you? What makes you different? What makes you unique, right? So at least you put that credibility if you have awards or recognitions or whatever results that you bring to your potential clients. Put that on your headline. And one of the best things about LinkedIn also is using a custom button, meaning when the people visit your profile at the top, they can just click the link and then they can visit your website, check your portfolio, or contact you directly to book an appointment. Anything you want to add there, Angelica?
Yeah, it's important to send out invites maybe on Sunday,
Mm,
but also in the same morning, like right before the event. It's good to send out a reminder thanking them for signing up for the event. Like those 125 that came through, you could remind them in the morning by telling them thank you so much for registering for the event, and it's a reminder for them to come to the event. Because there's another event that's usually on Wednesday mornings, and it's usually attended by a lot of people. That one is Stanley. He has an event on usually on mindfulness and different practices.
on a live video, I cannot see who's watching, but on the audio event, I can see specifically who's watching me here, right? I mean, who's joining us on the audio event, which is very good. I think Mac is here. Thank you, Marisol. And of course, we would like to thank, we have Grace also who's joining us. Thank you, thank you. If you do have questions, we'd love to answer that. And I think, of course, we'd love to connect with you after the LinkedIn audio event. Bear with me. This is my first LinkedIn audio event on the LinkedIn live video. This is my expertise, but so we're doing it both together. This is the third question, Angelica, and maybe some of our audience can answer it later. What is the right target audience for LinkedIn Hmm. Mhm. I love that. I love what you said. Yeah, I think I agree with you. Every person have something to share. Every person have their own experience. Every person have their own expertise. That's why it's very good to always, and I will always say it's good to put a spotlight on each person because no person is different. Right? I mean, no person is the same. Every person is different. So it's always good. I will always say if you want to reach the right target with the right audience with the right message, first be clear who is that right target audience for you, and what is the right help that you can give to that right person, because that is when you can easily write the right message, right, Angelica? Because I know a lot of people on LinkedIn, they will say, I will make your website, I will do SEO, they're submitting me their resumes, whatever, but I'm not even looking for stuff. So I will say, be clear who what do you really want from the platform, because the moment you do have clarity, what you do best, who you want to help, then it's easier for you to do everything on LinkedIn. But a lot of people here don't have, they just said, I just want to get hired, I just want to get clients, but if you ask them what's the number one service that you have, they also don't know. So it's
It's
very
very
difficult
difficult
that
that
way.
way.
Maybe,
Maybe,
Angelica, can you help
help
me
me
bring Mac
bring
on
Mac on
stage?
stage.
Maybe he
Maybe
can
he can
share a
share
few
a few
tips
tips
also.
also. We could invite him, but he'd have to raise his hand in order for us to bring him on stage.
Oh,
So you could ask him, Mac, would you like to share anything on what you um, can share in regards to getting clients on LinkedIn or how you connect with others? I'm not. There he goes. So you could bring him up because you're a host.
okay, let me do it. So I'll press allow to speak. Great.
There you go.
Hi, Mac. Thank you for being here. Apology, it's my first time for an audio event, so I'm trying to think what to press, what to do.
You're doing
Hey,
great.
you're doing great. We're always learning, and don't worry. Even after having done hundreds of audio events, I still slip up and keep talking while the mute button's on. So we're all, it's a ongoing learning curve. But Angelica, thank you so much for the kind words and inviting me up. Sorry, my voice is going, so but I thought I had to come and come and support Angelica, because she's always supporting our social rooms. So here to help in any way I can. So sorry, I missed the question slightly there. So if you could repeat the question, I'm happy to answer anything that I can help with.
Okay, let me read the question again. The question is, how can we reach the right people on LinkedIn with the right message?
I think there's so many different strategies, and it all depends on what your intention is on LinkedIn. So if you are, excuse me, I'm losing my voice here, but if you are trying to just be focused on increasing your brand, it's important to put content out there, as well as engagement is really one of the biggest things that unfortunately a lot of people miss the boat on. Many years ago, when I first got into socials back in kind of 2007 to 2010, I thought the spray and pray approach was the best approach, where literally I was on every single platform, I was posting everywhere. But the key ingredient that was missing is the engagement side of things, because what a lot of people do is they'll create content hoping that they'll find the right people, and they'll just, the leads will come flooding in. But the reality is you have to support your existing clients. That's one of the things, everybody's looking for new leads. And one of the things most people forget about is their existing client base. And when we talk about business in general, referrals is one of the big things that people live off, and is the bread and butter. And that's where word of mouth is where a lot of people's business comes from, because people have experienced working with you and therefore are willing to refer you. And people miss the opportunity on generating new leads from those people's networks just by not engaging with them. So one of the things that I tell my clients to do is, as an example, if you're using a Chrome browser and you're on LinkedIn, is if you go into the search field on LinkedIn, and most people don't know this, because and I know Wanda, you probably know this anyway, but if you go into the search field and you don't put anything in, you just hit the enter button, and then you use the filters to filter by posts, most recent, and then within the last 24 hours, and then you can add people, and you can add a list of up to between 25 and 27 people in that list. And this, if you're on a free LinkedIn account, it also means that you are not utilizing your search limitations and over exceeding those too often. But what you can do is, once you've done that and you've got your 25 names in there, is save it as a bookmark to your browser, so that anytime you have 5 minutes on LinkedIn, just go and open that bookmark, and it will only show posts of those 25 clients. You're not going to get ads, you're not going to get other people's posts, but it gives you 5-10 minutes to literally just scroll through and go and quickly support those people that are already clients of yours. And as we know, your name and your headline, the first 40 characters, follow you everywhere, which means that you get an opportunity to market and advertise yourself as somebody who's already known, liked, and trusted by your clients. And then you impact what's called the Jones effect. And the Jones effect is effectively where people want what other people have. And if they can see that you've got a shortcut, or if you've got somebody who's doing something for you that brings value to your business, other people will seek you out as well. And that's an easy way to impact your clients, because if they respond to your comments, and I'm not saying comments like that's a nice post. If Angelica posts something and it's of value, I would, pull out something that specifically resonated with me, and I'd ask a question, so that gives Angelica an opportunity to go and show off her expertise and therefore respond, which means I'm helping her stand out to her network and those that see her posts. But at the same time, by Angelica responding, it then gives me access to Angelica's network that are currently active on LinkedIn and that have liked and engaged with their post, which means I'm going to get further exposure. So that's one way of doing it. The other way is company pages. I mean, company pages are, they're a necessary evil that we have to have. Although LinkedIn in their infinite wisdom are now going to start charging people to have a premium business page, which I'm still, the jury's out on whether that's going to be valuable or not. But if you look at company pages, if you pick the top 10 companies you want to work with, and go and just follow their company pages and just comment on those, because one of the things that and Wonderland, I don't know if you've seen this, but there's never more than, even if a company has 150 or 200,000 followers, the comments are still less than 10 comments per company post. There might be 100 likes or 200 likes, but very few people actually comment. Now, by going and commenting, you're going to stand out of the crowd very quickly. By asking valuable questions, you're going to be able to get them to be able to respond to you. But then everybody who's liked that comment, and that would in most cases be the senior executives in the business, because they all follow their company page, they would get a notification saying, hey, Angelica has just commented on our company page, let's respond. But if you do that consistently, eventually somebody in that company, what I tend to do is, sometimes you don't get the exact person you want, like the CEO or the CTO, or whatever position you want, but somebody will respond. And what I tend to do is I'll just respond to them saying, hey, that's a great comment. I tell you what, I'll send you a connection request and we'll take the conversation offline. Immediately, I now have a connection inside that company. And that makes it so much easier to reach the right people, because I'm now speaking to somebody inside who ultimately is going to leverage that connection. So hopefully that makes sense. I can talk about this for days, so I'll stop there and hand back.
Thank you, Mark. I think you shared a lot of wisdom there. Let me summarize what I captured so far. So you mentioned about using your headlines strategically, because as you rightly said, your headline goes wherever you go. So make sure it's written powerfully. You also mentioned about bookmarking those profiles so that you can comment and engage with potential ideal target clients you want to work with. It's a very good tip. You also shared about these company pages that you need to follow, you need to engage, because this is when the right people will always come and find you also. And I think you spoke about collaboration as well. That's why you're here, and Angelica is collaborating with you and supporting you all the way. And of course, Mark, thank you for sharing your experience, your expertise. And I would like to acknowledge we do have some people who's joining us. So we also have Mirasol, Grace, Randolph, and Mark, Star. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Thank you for joining us on the event. If you do have questions or if you have something you want to add, please feel free to raise your hand. We'd love to bring you on stage, because today we're talking about how can you get clients on LinkedIn. We answered three questions so far in terms of how to, get the right message, the right people. Angelica, I answered earlier in terms of how can you also reach consulting clients. Maybe there's, just get the next question.
I saw
there's
that Grace also had her hand up. Grace, come up, my dear.
Let me
You could
just
bring.
put Grace on stage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Good to
Thank
see.
you,
Good to
Grace.
see you.
I know how to use the other event now.
Good morning, everybody, and afternoon if you're at different time zones. Wendy Lee, congratulations on your first audio room. This is definitely, I think, one of the greatest rooms to create community, and that's where I found my friend Angelica. How are you, Angelica? Good morning.
Good
um,
morning.
thank you for inviting me. Um, yeah, so it's hard to add to anything to what Mac has to say because he is the pro. He is the pro for sure, and so many nuggets too that he dropped there. Um, I One thing that I found for me um, a challenge, but also very important at the same time, is consistency with your social media outputs and consistency with engaging. And like Mac was mentioning, and the consistency of your posts and engagements and so on and so on, right? I think that part is so important, which also can be very challenging when you are juggling a lot of things as an entrepreneur, solopreneur, or even just a job seeker. And I don't mean to say just or as a job seeker. um, so one thing that I found with a useful tool that I found on LinkedIn that helps with uh, pre-scheduling things is I think very great tool. So you can pre-schedule your posts for the most part, and have those um, scheduled ahead of time to come out at a certain time. So that's one thing you have to worry less about throughout the week or throughout your busy time. So that's a good tool that I found is useful. I think maybe it's worth sharing.
Thank you, Grace. That's a great point. And thanks for coming up. I just want to say hi to a few people I invited, Mark and Hiromi. Thanks for coming, guys. Good to see you guys. And Mark, I just want to say a little bit about him. He's worldwide when it comes to business. He's international. So if you're interested in somebody that's worldwide, he's in New Zealand, but he has some wonderful connections, over 26,000 followers. So he would be a great person to connect with as well. And then Hiromi, I met her on Clubhouse, but she's had over millions of viewers on TikTok. So, and she also has an audio room that she did, or a LinkedIn audio that she did about LinkedIn. So good to see you, my friend. And Randolph, I see that he's the guy that likes to solve problems. So thank you, Randolph, for coming in and not only doing bookkeeping, but providing solutions for business. So good on you, my friend. And of course, I don't want to leave out Marisol. Thanks for coming, Marisol. And everyone else on the and Rinalyn. Back over to you, my dear. I just wanted to say hello to a few people that have come into the room, and I really love your shares today, Mac and Grace. Uh, you guys are doing great in your audio rooms as well, and always it's so important to have the community. Community is the big thing. And I believe audio rooms are the best place, like Grace said, to do it. What are your thoughts on that, Mac? Oh, but you had a question. I'm sorry, Wanda Lynn. Go ahead. Go ahead to your question.
It's okay, Angelica. But thank you again, Marisol, Randolph, Mark, Jerome. Wow, we have a star on our other event. Thank you for joining us. Again, Mac and Grace, I love those tips that you shared. Consistency, scheduling, these are great tools that you can use because I agree with you. On LinkedIn specifically, it's about consistency in what you do, then you get the results, right? And if you leverage on the tools like scheduling your posts, it will help you really grow organically on LinkedIn and get the right people. Maybe if Hiromi can also share, if okay, Hiromi, I know if you grew a following of 1 million on TikTok and you do have audio events also, maybe you can share something as well. Your experience what's the best way to get clients on social media. I mean, there's so many social media platforms now that you can use. And maybe Hiromi, if it's okay, would love to hear from you also. How do you make sure that you get the right client with the right message on the right platform?
Well, she's not on the stage, so she can't come. She can't come up unless she
Yeah,
has
I
her
think
hand raised.
we'll wait for her to raise her hand, right?
She has to have her
Angelica?
hand raised. But I want to share something that I found out about LinkedIn
Okay.
that's coming up, and that is short video is one of the things that is. I see the heart because Hiromi is the queen of short video. Yes, so that's coming up on LinkedIn, and that's something that we need to be on top of as well. Whenever there's something new like that, it's good to get in on the bandwagon. So how do you feel about the short video, Wanda Lynn? I love it. I need to do it more, but now Hiromi's coming up. I knew that would bring
Okay,
her up.
let me bring her on stage now.
I speak her language. Go ahead, Hiromi.
Hi, Hiromi.
Hi, Wanda. It's so great to hear you here, and I'm following you already. And of course, Angelica is a dear friend. Did you? Is it okay if I speak? Because I know there's other people on the stage.
Yes,
Yeah.
everybody spoke.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Actually, I was just going back and forth with another content creator, Chris Chang. He on LinkedIn on his profile, and I was just saying how it's amazing that LinkedIn wants to bring in short form video because LinkedIn users are so busy. Like they really focus on time management and they don't have time to listen to all the fluff and the old culture of YouTube long form is like, hi, how are you? And then they go on and on and on. And I like people to get to their point, and I really value people who can tell a story in like a short period of time, because Angelica knows I was a commercial actress. Well, I still am, for 30 years, and commercials get to the point and tell a story in 15 seconds, 30 seconds, and 1 minute. And if LinkedIn can tap into that market, I think they can do so well because the culture of LinkedIn, people are too busy to watch a long form video, right?
Absolutely. I think you're right about that, Hiromi. When I want a question answered, I'll go to TikTok and ask the question, because if I go to YouTube, I'll get a big long intro. So back over to you, Wanda Lynn.
Thank you, Hiromi, for sharing that. I agree with you. I think now with the short attention span that every people have, and because LinkedIn is known for being a corporate social media platform for professionals and executives, right? More so people have no time here. That's why what I learned also when in live video events, few people join live, but there are like 400 to 500 watch, after you finish the live videos. People take time to repost after you go live. So I'm saying I learned you keep on tuning in to what your audience needs. If they need short videos, then create that. If they need long form content, to do that. If they prefer audio, you work on that. But the best thing about it is learning from people like Angelica, like Grace, like Mac, and Hiromi, who are already experts in what you're doing. So thank you for sharing that, Hiromi. Mac, I appreciate it. Let's actually move to the last question. How can I get customers LinkedIn fast and easy? Angelica, you want to answer that first?
Well, can you repeat that question, because the mic is coming in and out, and I couldn't
Okay.
hear that well. I
The
heard the
question
how
is,
can you.
how can you get clients on LinkedIn fast and easy?
Fast and easy. I think the best way to get the clients, honestly, is you got to, here on LinkedIn, you got to build that relationship, because people want to buy from people that they know. So fast and easy, usually I don't do fast and easy. I take my time to get back. He's given a thumbs up on that too. I feel it's really important to build a relationship. That's the main thing, and that is where you're going. Look at the relationships that I built here with Hiromi, Mac, and Grace. They're here, and I appreciate you guys, man. Thank you for being here. But that's what it's all about, the relationship. And let's see if Mac or Hiromi or Grace have something to say.
Happy to jump in here. I think the fast and easy is unfortunately one of the things that really there's so many people that post on LinkedIn about, hey, look at I got 10,000 followers in 3 days, and there's a lot of people screaming and shouting about how they've got the silver bullet for social media. But the reality is, each one of us, there's a lot of hard work that goes into the background, and it's, as Angelica mentioned, it's that consistency. It's showing up, and Grace mentioned the consistency. It's showing up on a daily basis. And that overnight success, it only took me 10 years. So fast and easy. Fast and easy comes after a lot of hard work. It doesn't come from just one post and the leads flood in. So I think be prepared to put in the work is the key thing I've got to say there before you expect the results, because consistency is one of the biggest keys. So I'll leave it at that for now.
Thank you, Mac, for sharing. Would love to hear from Grace and Hiromi if you want to add something also.
I guess I can go next. I think one thing is about fast and easy is you will almost surely lose out on quality. And, Angelica, you really are truly a testament to that. And I know, Mac, you also build a lot of relationships on your platform. Without that platform and without building that relationships, you really don't know what you're getting when it's fast and easy. And I had several people that I had to block and remove from my platform because it was not authentic. It was not real. It was all kind of stuff, right? And I think Mac, you may be able to speak to that as well. When you get to a certain amount of followers, I think also you become very, you become a target. You know what I mean? I find. So I had just recently a post where I had a few people asking me to connect with them. And I wonder, why don't you want to connect with me? Why don't you just connect if you want to connect with me? Why do you leave me a message to say to connect with you? Right? So the fast and easy makes me very uneasy and very nervous. So I would probably suggest to stay away from fast easy.
Thank you, Grace, for sharing. I agree with you. I think I always believe, Angelica is right. It's about building relationships, and that is not always fast and easy, right? Building a relationship is about time. It's about investment in your time and energy to build that trust relationship with people. And I agree with Mark. I mean, you don't grow following overnight. You need to continuously add value to show up for it to work, right? So thank you everybody for sharing. How about Hiromi? Do you want to add something, Hiromi?
Oh yeah, I agree totally with Grace and Mac. I hope I said your name right, Mac. Yes. Okay. So yeah, totally. So I run my father's account as well. He's a martial arts master, and honestly, I've been running his. He grew fast, pretty fast on TikTok. On TikTok, it's if you have the right formula, and because the app was so new back in 2020, it was some creators could grow exponentially. It's slowed down now, but on Instagram, we've been on Instagram for a decade, and just this past last year, 2023, is when he exponentially grew. It was so weird because for like almost a decade. It was stagnant. It was like 1,000 followers. And I just kept being consistent, as Angelica said, consistent, just posting consistently. And all of a sudden last year, he just grew exponentially. He's at almost 30,000 followers. And this is for real. I just did a class on Instagram stories yesterday over on Clubhouse. Every story I post of his, he gets at least 500 to 1,000 views. And stories on Instagram is where you know where your true kind of community and followers are when they view your stories. So to get 500 to 1,000 views per story is like, it's such a milestone for us. But it's not overnight, like Max said. It was like a decade of posting consistently. So yes, my strategy aligns with everybody here on stage.
Thank you, Hiromi, for sharing. Again, it's consistency, right? And I think I would like to share a link because on my newsletter I wrote yesterday. I shared many tips on how can you get clients through LinkedIn Live, how can you get clients through LinkedIn newsletter, LinkedIn audio. I learned there's so many ways for you to get clients, but at the end of the day, it's always about building relationships, consistency, putting in the work. That is what matters most. Now we're almost toward the end. It's 6:54 Dubai time. We have 6 minutes left. Again, I would like to thank 𝗲𝗓𝗓. I would like to thank Randolph and Mark. If you want to be on stage, just put your hand. I would like to give you. But with that, I want to give the stage for the last message, Angelica. For those who are starting, who are, who just want to make LinkedIn work for their business, what's the last message you want to give?
Well, I think the most important thing is to be in these audio rooms, because that's where the connections are at. That's where you build the relationships, and that's where you have those conversations that you wouldn't have on a live. I like the lives as well, but on a live, you're not able to have that back and forth conversation, right? So I like the lives though, because you have the replays. So there's some pros and cons to it, but having the conversations is how you get to know the people and how they get to know you and how you build that trust. So there's just so much more to we can't just do one audio room to talk about audio rooms, right, Mac? And Grace and Hiromi. There's a lot more, but it just brings so much value to your LinkedIn to have the audio rooms. And I just want to add, when you're making those connections, if you want to connect with a person, I think it's important that you put a message in the connection. Like, I saw you in this audio room and there was something that you said that really resonated with me, and then you could share what was said. And I'd like to connect with you because of that, because otherwise, like Grace says, you come off kind of like, why are you connecting with me? You want to know why a person's connecting. So anybody else have anything else to say? Go ahead, Wanda.
Thank you, Angelica. Yes, that works, right? Put a reason for connecting. Because a lot of people, they will connect with you, then the next message is buy my product. So
Absolutely.
Put a very clear message why you want to connect with the person. Then it makes the conversation more meaningful, right? So thank you for that. Ma, Grace, Jerome, do you want to add anything else there?
I don't know if she heard you.
I'll drop in because I've unfortunately got to drop off onto another call now. But I think the audio rooms there's a massive difference between anything else on LinkedIn, with the fact that I've been on Clubhouse for years as well, but LinkedIn just gives us that opportunity to really check out who's in the room. Gives us that credibility option of being able to go and check out their profile, how long they've been on the platform, what is it that they do, what who are they engaging with, what content are they bringing out. So it really just gives us that credibility factor. And with audio, it gives people the opportunity to listen and hear whether somebody resonates with them. And the know, like, and trust factor is so much more superior than just putting a post out there. And as Hiromi will probably be able to acknowledge, and I'm sure Angelica and you, Wonderland, as well, and Grace, is that when you do something where people can hear your voice, and they can, and with the lives as well, where they can see your face, that gives people an opportunity to feel like they're getting to know you and they personally become part of your community. So audios are vital. Even if you don't want to run your own audios, as Angelica mentioned earlier, go and attend audios. Put your hand up, engage. There's nothing worse than running an audio room, but there's no engagement. And you don't see people reacting or raising their hand or just giving an emoji reaction, just so that people are alive and breathing and actually listening. So go and use the opportunity to go into the room, put your hand up, and even if you just want to say thank you for the value that the people are bringing on stage, it gives you an opportunity to stand out of the crowd, and guaranteed people will see you, and who knows who's in the audience who may think, oh, hold on, I need to connect with that person. So yeah, start off by just raising your hand.
Thank you, Ma, for sharing those words. Yeah, it's about listening and sharing, raising your hand and speaking up. Thank you, thank you. How about Grace Hiromi? Any last words before we wrap up today?
Yeah, I think it's kind of echoing what everybody else said. I am a fan of Audio Room. I do the video events because I need to. And I love the interaction, right? And not only that, but the reach that we have with audio rooms, I think it's a little bit different. I believe in audio rooms for building relationships, we have a wider reach in who we connect with. Take Mac, for example. I know he's in the UK. Here, I don't know where everybody else is, or Angelica on the West Coast, while I'm all the way over here in Houston on the East Coast, but just to give you a perspective of how many people we actually can reach through these audio rooms and develop these relationships with, without being in the same room, in the same, well, physical room, that is, or without being in even the same country or continent. So I think that is a very profound aspect of audio rooms that allow us to build those relationships globally. And it helps us with widening our view and expanding on our experiences as how we see people. I call myself a child of three continents. So I was born in Africa, raised in Europe, and I've been in the US for over 2 decades now. So that just has taught me the value of diversity and how much diversity there is in this world, and when we learn from each other. And the audio room gives that opportunity to really get to know different people in the environment when they speak of their day-to-day lives and when they speak of their work environments and so on and so on. We really get a good look, not even just a peek, in my opinion, but a good look at as to what their environment and their world and their languages look like. So, and I forgot a young lady, Angelica, I know you know her. She comes on here a lot, and she's learning her English by being on these platform audio rooms, and she get to engage. And
Is that Haone?
yes, I could not think of her name. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, and she's from Eastern Europe, and she's practicing her English while being on these audio rooms, which I think is fantastic way to do that, because somebody who speaks multiple languages, I know how hard it is to learn a language without speaking it, right? So it's very important factor of learning to be able to speak it. So there's so much we can use this platform to learn and advance ourselves and our minds, and with that also our compassion for people and empathy for people and understanding the different backgrounds of folks. I do believe the video events have their place. and Angelica makes very great points there, and has very great discussions on there as well, and especially to teach people and to advertise certain points. I think people can more share those and go back and look at those conversations, while you cannot unfortunately do that with these audio rooms necessarily, or fortunately sometimes these audio rooms can get very lively. So I'm gonna stop rambling here and pass the mic back on to you guys. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
Thank you, Grace, for sharing. I love what you said. The audio room allows you to interact with different people from different parts of the world, which makes you feel closer, right? So we're almost at the end of our audio event. Again, I would like to thank Angelica, Grace, my staff is here, Hiromi, Mirasol, Mark, Randolph. Hiromi, last word before I end our LinkedIn Live audio today.
Oh, yeah, just exactly what Grace said. Actually, my course for LinkedIn Learning is on social audio. So I'm obsessed with social audio. I'm more on Clubhouse. However, I do agree with what Grace said. I have so many people who follow me on Clubhouse, and Clubhouse has something called asynchronized voice chats. We won't get into that, but it is amazing how people love learning their English and practicing their English, and also makes us more globally in tune, because we are listening to all these wonderful, it's normalizing so many wonderful accents and so many wonderful ways of people communicating, and we learn more about each other through these rooms. So I agree with what Grace said completely, and thank you for having me.
Thank you again. For those who are watching us live or on replay today, we had my first audio event where we spoke about how to get clients on LinkedIn. I'm very blessed to have my special guest, Angelica, the LinkedIn audio queen. We also have special guests, Grace, Hiromi was here. Thank you, of course, people on the audience, Marisol, Mark, Raquel, Randolph. Thank you. I wish you have a great weekend. Thank you to my backstage team for helping me. Thank you. Until the next live, see you and God bless you.
Love you guys. Thank you for all coming
Thank
up
you.
too, and for coming into the room. Mark it's 3:00 a.m. and he joined the room. And isn't that kind of him to support like that? That's what community is.
Thank you.
Take care. Love you all.